Right, welcome everybody. Good to have you on the meeting this evening. Last week we spoke about why we started, and being a school holidays, we said meet people. So I don't know if anyone's met anyone new this last week.
Quite a few people.
Quite a few people, that's good. Sure.
I've got 2 new customers.
You've got 2 new customers. Well done. Well done. That's Dominique. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, I met my neighbor who's a teacher a couple of weeks ago. And I said, I'm Jenny, come in, come in. No, I'm a teacher. And I said, I know, I was a teacher for 51 years. Come in. And I showed her the superintendent LDC. She said, I know New Life. I said, good. So in the holidays, I'm going to do a dem. So yesterday, I set everything up. You know, it's quite a schlep, putting everything up. Knock, knock on the door. I said, and where's everybody? She said, no, they're not coming. So she said, I'm coming. I said, you better. She disappeared for an hour. Knock, knock on the door. I said, come. And we sat there. We chatted for about 3 hours, and she wants to join, but she has to ask her husband. So, and thank you, Sean, for your incredible nutritional talk, because we played that, and then she had to go, and she said, no, I can't. I will listen to this. It's so... Thank you, Sean, because I think that sealed the deal. Thank you.
Good. It's a pleasure. Hope it helps.
So we have to get into the dotted line. She has to sign, but it's all pending on her husband.
Well done.
Okay. Thank you, Jen. Well done. All right. Now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi,
How's everybody?
good and you?
Good, thank you. And listen, we've got awful weather. I mean, no, I love it to bits. No, but I mean, it's not very conducive to the connection, put it this way. So if I disappear, it's because it's gone poof, you know, comes and goes. The Wi-Fi plays up a hell of a lot. So, yeah, anyway, just wanted to warn you. Like last time, I couldn't connect, and then eventually it went off. Okay, never mind. Okay, all right.
Okay. Right. Now, last week we spoke about why, and you were going to meet people. This week, I want to find out, now what do? You've met these people. You might have got a number. You might have got a name. You might have got a thing like Ansie's wearing, a logo of their company, or now what do you do with them? Got the lion by the tail. What are you going to do? We'll start with Ansie.
Well, it all depends how far we did get with what we were saying or what we were sharing. If it is that she wants health, then I'll go the products way, but I will also bring in the business side. And then at the end of the day, she can choose. I won't choose for her. Then she can choose if she wants a discount. I prefer to go the distributor way. Because I did find in the past 2 people did sign up as a member, and at the end of the day, I had a hell of a job to change it and backwards and forwards with New Life to change them to a distributor. And then if they want it at a discount price, then I would recommend the distribution, to become a distributor.
Okay. Sean?
All right. So it all depends on where I've met them and what I'm doing. I obviously get to see people on a daily basis, and I get to talk to them about their nutrition on a daily basis. But being at work, I don't always like to push anything like that. But what I did recently, I've got a possible new sign up in Maritzburg. They want to try the products first, which is perfectly fine by me. And we had a meeting on, I don't know, last week, this week. I've lost track of time, but we did a Zoom call recently, and I did a business presentation with them. Very keen, very interested. But he says they just want to try the products first, which is perfectly fine. But what I did the first time that I'd spoken to him was I sent a little video clip called Income with Impact, which has been made up by Alan Blaine and his team in the States. It also features Louis Smith and Drew on that same little Income with Impact clip. And he was very, very interested in that. And then from there, we set up the online presentation, and I would do pretty much the same thing. So it really depends on what we've spoken about. Do they want to know more about the products? Great. I send them clips or links. In fact, often I send them the link to my website. So I take that particular product that we spoke about and I send them that link. And then I follow up from there.
Well done. Fantastic. Jenny? Well, we heard your story.
Yeah, well, I've actually mentioned it the other day. My mother, because I left home at the age of 8, my mother and my sister were together a lot, and they sew and they crochet. Well, my late mother actually made a blanket, and she was deaf and blind, and I've got it in my bedroom. Beautiful orange little shawl thing. So then I had a friend say, Jenny, come and join the knitting club. I said, you must be insane. I taught my daughter to sew with a stapler, right? I did. And now to go knitting. And then before Gabriella was born, I had to go up to Joburg, and we sat there, and this baby didn't come. I said, right, let's knit scarves. Then I remembered I had to think, how do I cast on? And we knitted these long caterpillar things. I thought, oh, how do I cast off? We got that right. Then I knitted Philippe, a huge, it looked like a shawl, this lovely warm scarf. Now, my late son-in-law had 21 holes in the heart, like Yanni XT, and also has water retention. And he'd get very huge, he'd go to hospital, lose water, come back again. But that particular night he came, I said, oh, Philippe, look what I've got you. He said, what's this, a shawl? I said, no, it's a scarf. He said, but Jens, I don't have a neck. But anyway, so now off I go to this knitting class. But I didn't have needles, SPCA. So, oh, no, there's a knitting shop here. So I bought the thickest needles, the thickest wool. So now I'm knitting. And this lady said, do you know how to cast on? But I'm forming relationships. And then I'll get their numbers. And I'll say, I live in a beautiful place with all the road construction, but I won't say that. And I'll invite them into my house, and as usual, casually, the LDC and Super 10 there, and say, oh, have you heard it? And that's how I'm going to introduce them to the business. The end.
Well done, Jenny. Right, John. John, are you with us?
Yeah, I am, Debbie, but I'm the wrong person to ask. I just don't follow the business side very much, but I do talk to people along the way. I always mention things and everything. And if it hooks, it hooks. If it doesn't, I don't worry too much about it. I must say I'm quite bad these days about following up business side, but I always talk about products, you know. I've got a few people in the complex here who are customers. And like I said the other day, the one guy is now a big customer, and he used to moan about prices. Oh, got these things. And now he buys a whole lot of stuff. So, you know, I do mention wherever I go, I just don't always follow up. I'm quite bad at following up, I must say. I do agree. I do admit. And following up on the product side, but on the business side. But I do, you know, it's always on my mind a bit. And everybody talks about any health thing, it always comes up, or anything else I can put it through. And so I do mention. But yeah, I don't follow up too much business wise, so I'm a bit the wrong person to ask at the moment.
Well
Yeah.
done, Doc. Well done, John.
Okay. Right, good evening, everyone. My approach is for the business side to make money. I leave the products as a byproduct of the people that say no to a business opportunity. That's what started a long time ago in the work for us. So when I approach people, my question can be threefold, depending on what occupation they do. The first one, if I say to them, how would you like to earn a lot of money? And that's after I've broken the ice and we've gone through all that, we're on first name basis. And I say, well, of course I do. What do I have to do? That's the next question. And this is where we're so blessed to actually have Neolife give us the presentation hall every month. And there's one coming up on the 14th of the 12th. So my question is, a few of our business partners are getting together quite soon. I don't tell them the date yet. I said, if I could get you into a meeting, would you be available to come and listen to a senior executive expand on what we have to do in the business? And if you like what you see, we can take it further. But I need to know how serious you are about another line of income coming in. So when they're positive, and this is what's building up for who's meeting on the 12th. So a week before, I don't like to leave it too long, but a week before I say, here are our business partners together, and I've managed to get you a seat. I'll wait till there's another 45 seats waiting for the other guests. But I've managed to get them a seat. May I give you an invitation? And if I give you an invitation, will you be there? I think we've got to be a bit hard now. Charlie Bolton is a bit more forward than that. But you get the commitment that they should be there. And I'll say it's for you, and I'll make it the first one. Gone are the times where I say, and your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, you never know who the partner can be today. So it's plus one, and I'll be meeting you at the door. It starts at, and this next week will be 2 o'clock. Starts at 2, but we can get there a bit early so we can organize with the seating arrangement. They can hear the speaker. So I sort of emphasize more on the secondary things, like getting you seated rather than him being there or her being there. So may I give you an invitation for that meeting? And they say, yes, I'd love to go. It's simple. It's going to be on the 12th of April, and it's not at 2. And I like to say it's business. It's business at time. You can go as long as they know that it is a business meeting. They're not going to come in and stop and open the trip right off the beach. So it is a business meeting, and I'll get you that invitation to you as soon as possible. And as soon as I get back, I'll send that invitation off with all the details. And I'll tell them all the details will be there. If you can't make it for any reason, please let me know. Okay, so we can give other people or wanting to come in. I think we're going to hold a meeting quite high. And if you're going to have a meeting with people, you can say, I get together with a few selected people, and I'd like to include you. But it is limited spacing, but would you be available? And that's where you can have at a coffee shop or whatever, where you can actually do a one-on-one or at a library venue in the foyer or something where it's quite private. So that's basically on my side. And I think now that we're coming back to the meeting on a regular basis, it's going to make it more easier. I think during COVID time or while we were on Zoom, it was very difficult to try and get into a meeting. No one wants to sit and listen to an hour presentation, but I think it's coming right now. So I think we just have to pursue this to the cell you used to before. And if you can't make it, or you need to get someone there, for goodness sake, get that name to someone who can invite them on your behalf. We're going to be there. And unless we're at a wedding or down the coast, we're away. But let's start getting this back. Let's get the excitement. I think once we start generating excitement in ourselves, if people are going to want to see what you've got, I think if we're dreary and we're not excited about what we're doing, I don't think that many people are going to be interested. So that's the best. What about you?
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Interesting. Yeah, we get back to the good old days where we just on greeting, get to know. You don't even have to get to know them because it takes too long and you waste too much time. Are you open to have a look? And I don't say that to everybody. If I don't like them or I don't have that feel about them, not so much like them, but I can always remember Ingrid Roberts saying, we'll just sit around the dining room table with them. If not, then don't invite. Because you need to look for people your level and higher. I know that sounds terrible, but you can't help somebody if you're in a pit. You've got to be, if you want to get out of the pit, then you've got to put your hand up and hold on to somebody who's above you. And I mean that in the walk of life. So it's no good going out in the byways and the highways because, it's just that they don't have a business mindset. They definitely need the product, and most of them probably can't even afford the product. They're trying to make it live, just wanting to eat, let alone buy nutrition. So those people, once you've got your business going, then put aside 10% for those people that you feel need nutrition. So yes, it's a different ball game. So as John said, the Saturday is going to be once a month is going to be really fantastic, and I hope that we and then will carry it on. I really do because it's the only way we are going to go. Okay, while I say that is and I'm very, very strict. John will tell you, maybe too much. I'm doing a one-on-one one day, and this guy kept looking out the window. So I just folded up my folder and I said, I can see that you're really not interested. So I don't really want to waste your time. So thanks for your time up till now. Bye. John was very embarrassed, but he really was not interested. He was busy looking outside the window while I was talking, and I'm not wasting my time. He thinks it's a funny, maybe, whatever. I'll be forever chasing him, and I'm not. We just don't have that time to chase people. We're getting on in age, time is going. so make it count. Every minute must count. But and don't go too fast. Sometimes if we go too fast, that's the other side. Sometimes we go too slow, and you're not putting in closing techniques. So when you're listening to what they're saying, and then suddenly you get a buying signal that they want the products or they want the business, then close them. Say, well, which products do you want? Would you like to start? Which products would you like to start with? Or where would you like to start with the business? Here are the options, and close them. Because some people don't like most people don't like making decisions. So you're going to have to make the decision for them. But then you go to the opposite side of the effect, where suddenly you invite them, because now you've got them, you pour everything onto them, and they are swamped, and they just don't know what to do, and they just get overwhelmed, and then you get excuses. Just leave it. They're not interested. Let them chase you. I can remember somebody talking about, I can't remember who it was, but it was like the fishermen when they fish for trout. They throw that line in and they pull it back. They throw it in and they pull it back. They throw it in and they pull it back. And then they don't yank it out the water. They slowly reel it in. Then they put the net underneath and grab it. So, yeah. There's a lot of things that maybe just needs tweaking. So I was speaking to the lady who sold our house. She closes 1 in 4. So that's jolly good closing, the estate agency nowadays. It closes 1 in 4, which is fantastic. And I just had a look, how many do we close? Do you keep a record? I think John and I, we close about 1 in 4, 1 in 5, hey. But then we don't speak to many people. That's where our problem is. It's not that we don't close them, it's just that we don't speak to enough people. So yeah.
Now, Debbie, if I may ask, if you close them, is that for products or to become a distributor and do the business?
And see, if you're speaking to them, you will know. If as you say that they want the products, then close them with the products. You know, and just say to them if you like, look, I know you want to start with the products, but how about just starting with being a distributor? Now, when the minute you say a distributor, they start to think that they have to distribute the product, and that's where the downfall comes. Also with the promoter, that's what they use overseas. When you say promoter, they also think they're going to go out and start to promote the product. I'm very, very strong on saying this. As a distributor, you're just distributing to yourself. You use the products and a very good discount. And once you see that the products are good, it'll automatically be a process of inviting people to join you or using the product. Otherwise, yeah, I don't like to con people. You know, you can't say do the business and then they can't do the business. Not everyone can do this business. We know that. It's a simple business, but it's not easy. And not everyone is made up to it. You've got to have really tough skin. You really do have to have tough skin. So if for instance, it's a product, I'm saying you just, I say, which products are you wanting to start with? And then the trick is to keep quiet. Which product do you want to start with? And that goes, I would recommend that you start with the basic, which is 3 and that, and then, no. Which product would you like to start with?
What's your need?
Exactly. And then let them answer. There's nothing worse than somebody asks a question and then they answer it for you. Anybody
That's
else got any input?
I just
I must
remember,
say-
John, you're talking,
Sorry, Jenny, go. I'll go after you.
John, about keeping a seat. I was very new in the business, and we were having those presentations at Pineland Tennis Club, and there were rows and rows of seats, and nobody came except this one guest of mine. And as I walked in, I said, "Oh, I've kept a seat for you." So she looked and says, "Yes, I can see that."
That's
never
what I was going
joined.
to say about keeping seats, John. Funny enough, I like your idea of saying I keep a seat, because I got so tired of people saying, you know, people are coming and then they don't come.
Yeah.
I think
You're right.
Yeah.
I think you just got to make them feel special. You know, it's no good. I think we've got 500 flyers printed with a venue and how to earn extra income and no more debt. We did a very nifty little flyer. I think I copied it from overseas somewhere. And after we gave out the 500, I think the 3 people that were quite interested in he was what was the fuck when we get him to join in. So those mass things don't work. So I think we just got to make people a bit more aware that they are special, but commit them that your time is so important, not just waste it. And I just think if you say, listen,
Yeah.
I've only got a limited amount of people that are coming. And I'll say that maybe I don't invite a lot of people, but the ones we do invite, we really believe that they will do well in the business. And I can tell them that. So come and have a look. If it's for you, they will take it through. If not, we leave it for you. It's their business. So it's up to them to come and make their own decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea of making them realize that your space is limited, and there are other people who want to come, because people don't pitch. You go, you do all the effort and get all ready and prepare things for them, and then they don't come. So which is so rude, and they don't come back to you. So at least if they know that you've got a space limited, and if they don't come, you need to tell somebody else. It makes them think. You hope. Because then they realize, and because then you can invite somebody else instead of them. People don't think. People are in their own world and they don't care. So I like the way you put that. It's very nice to think about.
No, even if you do just keep them a seat, you do really, don't you? When you sit down, don't you keep a seat next to you for your guests?
Anyway, that was my 2 cents.
So you do keep a seat for them, right?
Yeah, and
even if there's just
I know, but it's just to tell them when you invite. I like the way he says it when he invites people. Yeah.
Now I was referring to Jenny.
That's the idea.
Getting into the hall.
Oh, sorry.
Seats. Yeah. No, when you keep a seat, it doesn't necessarily mean in the whole hall.
Yeah, well, we learned from that night not to put out too many chairs. That was the first lesson.
Yeah.
Rather add.
Yeah.
I think
You pull.
If you're going to send someone to a meeting, you say, listen, Sean's going to be there, but he's got quite a few guests there. And we don't want to waste his time. But if I give you the invitation, will you be there? And Charlie even says, do you promise you'll be there? I don't think it's that long. They say, if you say you're going to be there, we like to have people who say what they do. And in fact, you can use it in part of your posts on a one-on-one. We're looking for people who are dependable, reliable. They say what they do. And you can even say, sometimes we get people, they say they're going to make it coming and they don't do it. But I'm not including you in it. But if you mention that as one of the criteria that you're not looking for, they might respond. If I say I'm going to be there, I will be there. My word is not on.
Okay. Next question. What happens if they don't pitch? What happens if they don't pitch?
And you contact them and they make excuses. That's fine, it's done.
I learned a lesson very early on. The person didn't pitch, and I thought, blow this. I had so many books to mark at that stage. And then I phoned her and I said, oh, did anything happen that you didn't arrive? She said, yes. My neighbor had a heart attack and I had to rush him to hospital. So there was, and she thought it was so kind of me to actually inquire to see if everything was all right, and it wasn't all right.
If you had spoken to them properly in the beginning and invited them nicely, that's exactly what happened to us as well. One of our people that we invited didn't arrive. John phoned them. We phoned them at the hall. We phoned them, say, are you okay? We're waiting for you. We learned that from Sally Gilbert. Sally used to go outside and she used to phone them and say, listen, where are you? You said you would be here. It's now 2:05 or whatever, and you're not here. Where are you? And then if they say, well, you know, we delayed or whatever, oh, well, then I think let's wait and I'll phone you the next time, and puts the phone down. But we phoned one of our guys, and he was stuck on Paradise Valley. John got into the car quickly and went to help him. He didn't come to that meeting, neither did John. But I think they joined.
The talk.
Yeah, I think they did join. They joined later. I can't even remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, they did join us after a while.
I think just to show that you care, and if you have a look at our whole objective, do we want to get them started so we can make more money? Or do we get them started so they can create a better life for themselves and their children and really care for it? I think that's where Charlie has had that formula ever since he began. Is what can we do for them to make them successful? And that's being his whole life ambition. And that's what's coming to him in our. We just care about you guys. You're going to be successful. And one day, if we're up to walking the beach of the world, at this stage, we'll probably be crawling down to the river. Although you haven't even got a beach down where you are, sure enough. It won't be long. Won't be much for you to go to the edge and just fall into the sea.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So,
Now, this was the lady that came yesterday. I said on our shirts, and I said the person that introduced me, he actually wrote this out and was printed on our shirts. And she was so impressed. In serving one another, we become free.
That's
Yeah.
a good saying.
Okay, we've got 5 more minutes. I hope that was helpful. I hope the talk was helpful, because next week is our rally and our AVP. It's on Wednesday. On Wednesday. Not so we won't have one on Thursday. It's on Wednesday. Okay.
Debbie, is that program okay? The one I sent you?
Yes, Jen. Yeah. Well, sorry, we've been so busy with people coming in and doing certificates
No, I
of
realize.
conformances. Yeah.
And I don't want to tell the people too soon, but
Yeah.
I will be sending it out to
That's good.
people, and then I will remind people on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday itself, we'll send
Yeah,
out.
let's just close the
notice again.
meeting so that we can stop recording.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
quick, yeah, just a quick motivational close. Has anybody got something to bring us up? We're gonna have a good month this month. Anybody? Just read Sean's little quips every morning.
Very good, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Sean. You can close the meeting.